on the base. Hangar 4.
We'll fight side by side, back to back. Even if it's for the last time.
You!
I feel differently. I can no longer deny the possibility of an unseen power helping us to fulfill our destiny. I will be that guiding hand. Regret can consume a man so deeply that it will blacken his heart and swallow his soul. For so long, we have been fighting. Many battles, many wars.
I do not understand. The Earth, we saw it destroyed. Yet here we are.
It's more time travel bullshit, Tech. Just hasn't happened yet. Speaking of BS, how the hell did you get back in your body, Doc?
Does it matter, Dempsey?
Americans still give Nikolai his vodka. Is that your plan, Nikolai? To give up and drink yourself to oblivion? Or do you want to make a difference for once in your life? I'll tell you what matter. You four must come with us. In time, it will make sense. But now we must go, quickly. There is a war to be fought.
War? What kind of war?
A war unlike any you have ever seen. The Great War.
Oh, Scheiße.
Hello guys, this is the Gaming Revolution here and welcome back to an all new Black Ops 4 Zombies classified video. Within today's video, I thought I would just go ahead and post the full Easter egg ending cutscene audio that was leaked for classified. Now, I've decided to edit it up a bit to match the order in which I think this cutscene takes place, and I've tried to add some visuals to explain what is happening within the cutscene, since obviously it is just audio. So once we actually get the visuals, it could change up some of our understanding when it comes to the cutscene. Now, I wouldn't usually post the audio, but since so many other channels have, and they have not been getting strikes from Activision, I just thought, fuck it. So many people have been asking for it within my comment section, I just thought I would upload the raw audio. I have already made a whole video breaking down this ending, and I'm going to do that again within this video just to recap for those of you guys who haven't seen it. Just to give some context to this audio, this is data mined audio for the Easter egg ending cutscene for classified. Alright, so since I've already broken down this ending, it would kind of be redundant to go ahead and break it down again. However, what I am going to say is a couple things. One being is that within this ending, I found it very, very warming that Primus Nikolai is saying that Ultimus Nikolai has more to his life than just drinking alcohol. We learn within the Gorod Krovi ending cutscene that Ultimus Nikolai imagined all of the wives within his head because that just helped him grieve over the unfortunate death of his wife, and he became an alcoholic. And I find it very warming that Primus Nikolai is now giving Ultimus Nikolai a purpose and saying that there is more to his life as they are going to work together as a team to go ahead and defeat Dr. Monty within the Great War. Dempsey does also mention about Rick Toffin getting his soul back within his body, since he is unsure how he managed to get it back because obviously, as I was saying, all of our 4 characters were being experimented on within Hangar 4 within Groom Lake, so I'm assuming that they all wake up within the ending cutscene after we rescue them, and they probably wake up after probably being within a coma or a prolonged sleep or some sort of stasis. I found that very warming, but without further ado, since I've already gone ahead and broken down this entire ending, I'm going to play my entire breakdown for this ending cutscene audio. Obviously, once we do get the visuals for this cutscene and the Easter egg is complete, we will be able to make much better sense of this cutscene, but for now, this is the best way you can do. If you have seen my previous video in which I break down the ending cutscene for classified, then you can just click off this video now. There's not really much point in continuing. However, I'm going to play it for those of you guys who haven't seen my previous video. So without further ado, here is going to be the explanation for how this ending cutscene makes sense. So let me explain. What happens within the classified ending is, first of all, we managed to defeat the Pentagon Thief. That's going to be the boss fight for this map, which is obviously Yuri. So that explains how come the Pentagon Thief is on 5 within the original. This is how he got here. We obviously see within the intro cutscene that Samantha sends sends him elsewhere. So we defeat the Pentagon Thief, and then the ending is the Primus crew coming and rescuing our second Ultimus crew within Classified. Now, I need to first of all explain who the second Ultimus crew are. So the Ultimus crew that we play as, our original crew within Classified, they are not really important to the future of the storyline, because after the events of this map, they obviously go on to continue on with their normal events that we saw within Black Ops 1. They go onto the moon, etc, etc, since this map takes place before the moon. However, there is a second Ultimus crew within Classified, because Moon obviously takes place in 2025, and after the moon Easter egg, where we shoot the rockets down to the Earth and the moon gets exploded, our Ultimus crew are trapped within the moon. They become very delusional due to the fact that they've had a lot of exposure with Element 115. However, Schuster as well as Cornelius Purnell, we hear about this within some of the radios Unclassified. They are messing around with the teleporters within Groom Lake, and they accidentally teleport the Ultimus crew from the future after the events of the moon Easter egg back in time to Classified, which is our second Ultimus crew within this map.
Oh, I suppose they're all just dancing around on the moon somewhere in the far future, having a grand old time. Wait, what's happening? Richard, what did you do?
Nothing, sir. Something's coming through.
Hit the alarm. Get me Purnell. We need soldiers here immediately. Who the hell are you? Where did you come? Wait. No, it's not possible.
They are pretty much almost brain dead due to the fact that they've had a lot of Element 115 exposure, but over time, our three Ultimus crew, excluding Richtofen, sort of come back to their senses, but they are still very delusional due to the 115 delusions. And they are actually being experimented on, and they're sort of trapped within Hangar 4 within Groom Lake, aka Area 51, that you can see on screen. However, our Ultimus Richtofen is pretty much brain dead. He has zero brain activity, and the reason why this happens is because he obviously switched souls with Samantha within the moon Easter egg. And when he switched souls with Samantha, Samantha went on after the events of the Maxis endgame on Buried, which is canon. She obviously entered Agatha, so she became a child within the house and then contacted our Origins crew, which led on to the events within Black Ops 3. So Richtofen's body no longer has a soul within it, within Classified, so he was pretty much brain dead. However, the undead Richtofen, after the events of the Maxis endgame on Buried, he obviously followed the Victus crew through to the empty Earth through a portal, and all of the events happen within the Call of Duty Zombies comic books, which ultimately led to the Victus crew being placed within the cryogenic chambers within Blood of the Dead. However, after the undead Richtofen was unneeded by Primus Richtofen, he somehow has managed to go over to Classified, and we hear about this within one of the radios. He runs up to his Ultimus Richtofen character that's being experimented on and drops dead, and suddenly his soul is back within his body. So Richtofen is pretty much fully alive and functioning again. However, he's still pretty canonical and evil. However, he still has the Shadowman's voices within his head due to the fact that when he touched the MPD, he became corrupt by the Dark Ether and the many voices of corruption, including that of the Shadowman. And that's how come within Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, Richtofen is constantly trying to gain complete control with his grand scheme, because he wanted to gain access to the Ether so that he could gain access to Agatha, which is obviously the perfect world, the house where Dr. Monty is. That's because the Shadowman wanted to defeat Dr. Monty. Anyways, within the ending, what happens is that our Primus crew, after the events of Blood of the Dead, where they go through the portals after Richtofen has died, and we're now joined by the medieval Richtofen, post-Revelations Richtofen, they go through that portal and they go to Classified after we have defeated the Pentagon Thief, and the ending takes place within the Hangar 4, where we manage to awaken our test subjects that were being experimented on. So our Primus crew meet our Ultimus crew that have been sent back in time from Moon, and essentially they tell them that they need to work together to defeat Dr. Monty in the Great War. However, Primus Nikolai is the one that is doing most of the talking, because he is now the leader of our group, due to the fact that he's the only Primus character who still has his soul, and he's the one who's read the Chronorium, so he is sort of in charge, and he says this exact quote that is from an old Nikolai memory segment trailer that I'll play for you guys right now.
It is said that it is better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. I feel differently. Regret can consume a man so deeply that it will blacken his heart and swallow his soul. For so long we have been fighting. Many battles, many wars. I lost only one. We have seen impossible things, cheated death countless times. I can no longer deny the possibility of an unseen power, a guiding hand, helping us to fulfill our destiny. My path is chosen, our fate is sealed. But the innocent, the children, those untainted by darkness and chaos, they can find a better tomorrow.
He says that exact quote to his Ultima self, and when he says that he can no longer doubt the existence of a higher power, he then says he will be that higher power, he will be that guiding hand. So he is going to guide our characters, our Ultima's crew and our Primus crew, to finally defeat Dr. Monty. Now, as we were saying earlier, we already knew that this was the ending that was going to happen because there is an Easter egg on Classified where if you melee all of the portraits that are tilted with the Bowie knife, and then you can go up to this blank portrait and press square X or F on it, it reveals Primus Nikolai. So it shows that Primus Nikolai had some sort of significance with our Ultima's crew and he was going to come to Classified and be sort of the leader. So this was already sort of teased to us on the map. And we also have the last gen Richtofen jump scare, and while this is just a meme, it sort of did tease that Primus Richtofen was going to come over to Classified. So yes, our Primus crew and our Ultima's crew are going to work together to defeat Dr. Monty. And we also have this writing on Classified that is in the words of Samantha. It says the ether is not for us. It says that Richtofen will die, but Lies is crossed out, so Samantha knew that Richtofen was going to die in Blood of the Dead. And then it says Ultimus will prevail, so it's a hinter and a spin-off of Primus will fail, which was a quote that we had within Black Ops 3. So Primus were incapable of defeating Dr. Monty and breaking the cycle. The key to breaking the cycle is Ultimus Richtofen that we see within this new Revelations loading screen where our 3 Primus crew are joined by Ultimus Richtofen because he obviously has the Shadow Man within his head. I'm going to be having a whole storyline theory video within the future explaining how everything that has happened within Call of Duty Zombies, including Mob of the Dead, Shadows of Evil, Blood of the Dead, that was all done on purpose by the Shadow Man, which has led to this moment. It's a very long storyline video, but explains how the entire Call of Duty Zombies storyline was meant for this exact moment where it's going to be the Shadow Man versus Dr. Monty within the Great War, and we, our characters, are going to be siding with the Shadow Man because he's going to be the lesser of 2 evils, and we're going to defeat Dr. Monty, and then the Shadow Man will probably try manipulating us, and then we'll defeat the Shadow Man afterwards, probably, I'm assuming. And the writing on the bottom also says that we're sort of giving Ultimus Richtofen a bit of a hard time, and we should trust him. He's not as bad as he seems. It's just because of the voices within his head, which are obviously the Shadow Man, and we should just trust him, and we need to side with the lesser of 2 evils, which is indeed the Shadow Man. So yes, that is what happens within the Classified ending. Our Primus crew go from Blood of the Dead to our Ultimus crew, and they are going to work together to go ahead and defeat Dr. Monty. Dun dun dun. In the big final battle, everything within the zombie storyline has been leading to this moment. Again, I will have a future video explaining that, explaining how the Shadow Man wanted Richtofen to die within Blood of the Dead, and how he is the controller of Purgatory and not Dr. Monty like a lot of people have been saying. I have 100% proof for that within that video. I will link it in this video's description. Once it does go live, that's going to be a future video. I've already made a video explaining how the Shadow Man is the controller, but this is going to be a different video explaining how everything has happened for a reason because of the Shadow Man, and he's the master manipulator. He sort of let us kill him easily on Shadows of Evil and on Revelations because it was all meant for this moment to happen when the stars would align perfectly so that he could escape from the summoning key, since he is still within the summoning key because Blood of the Dead takes place before Gorod Krovi, so he is still within the summoning key. So yeah, anyways, thank you for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not here for the latest and greatest Black Ops 4 Zombies news and information. So anyways, thank you for watching, and bye.